Welcome back to another Mr. Lee Teaches YouTube channel. I'm Stuart Lee, and today is a weird day. We've been snowed in for 2 days now. Our district's been closed. We had some snow the other day, and it's kind of mostly melted today. But I have some free time on my hands, and of course, sitting around the house, I've done some work, but I've also spent a lot of time on social media, and it occurred to me, there's a lot of teachers out there that still are worried about social media and are unsure how to get started with it. And the great thing about social media is it can tell your story better than somebody else telling your story. So here are 5, maybe 6 quick tips on how to get started with social media, some things you might need to know to help you take that first leap into the social media world. Okay, tip number 1, Facebook is for grandmas. Now, I didn't say that. Kids are saying that. Students are saying that. I don't really use Facebook that much anymore. I do have a Facebook page for Mr. Lee Teaches, and that's to hit some of the older generation that might enjoy my videos, find use out of my videos, and that kind of thing. But students and younger parents really don't use Facebook that much anymore. It's gone the way of who are taking steps into social media and find Facebook very easy, and they know Facebook because it's been all over the news for a better part of a decade. And so the people you find on Facebook are not going to be the younger, more modern generational type people. You will still find, I'm 38, you'll find me on Facebook. You just won't see me posting on my personal page that much, and you won't see me commenting, and you won't see me throwing up a lot of pictures unless it's automated through an app or something like that. If people send me messages on Facebook all the time, they're like, oh, you didn't get my message on Facebook? And I'm like, no, I don't use Facebook that much. So that's tip number 1. Remember, Facebook is good, but it is for an older generation nowadays. Tip number 2, Twitter. Twitter has expanded the amount of characters you can use. So now you can actually make really, really long tweets. Don't do that. People still appreciate the brevity and the conciseness of the Twitter format. And so say what you need to say, but say it succinctly. Don't ramble on. Don't use the entire space that you have in Twitter now. Twitter also is a very much more professional type platform than Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat. Twitter has kept its relevance by becoming a tool of professionals. That's not to say that there's not, random personal stuff all over Twitter, and there is. And a lot of times if you get into a Twitter or you see a Twitter fight, please don't get into a Twitter fight. Nobody needs that drama. But if you see a Twitter fight, that's some personal stuff coming back and forth. But really, lots and lots of people still use Twitter in the professional realm to collaborate, to network, that kind of thing. Twitter is still a very powerful, very useful tool, and a very easy one to get started in. Instagram is basically Facebook with only pictures. You can make comments below it, and you can caption your images, but really Instagram is a storytelling platform where you use pictures to tell your story. You don't worry about too much what you're writing there unless it's very relevant or very necessary. Usually you see on Instagram just images or a story of images and just a little bit of text. And a lot of times there's not a lot of comments on Instagram either unless they're complimentary comments. Oh, your kids look great. But you just double click and it hearts the image and you just move on to the next one. So it's a very visual medium, very storytelling type medium. Social media platforms like Snapchat, for instance, still haven't really made it into Snapchat's considered mainstream social media. Lots of businesses will have a Snapchat. Probably some schools out there have a Snapchat. Snapchat's still not the easiest tool to use because you have to take a picture and then you can put text over it. And I use Snapchat because you can annotate on images very easily through Snapchat, and then I share those pictures with Instagram or Twitter or something like that. Most of the time is how I use Snapchat. I don't actually participate in Snapchat conversations or have a whole lot of followers or follow a lot of people on Snapchat. It's just not where Twitter or Instagram or even Facebook for that matter is in social acceptance, in number of people using it, in professional type people using it. It's an up and coming platform perhaps, but it's not quite there where the other ones are. So I don't recommend Snapchat for beginners. Once you get comfortable in using social media, that's totally acceptable to use Snapchat if you want to figure out how to best use it. Now, those are 4 of the 5 I was going to talk about. The 5th one I was going to talk about is how to actually interact with people on these platforms. So I gave you a little bit about the platforms. We'll use all of them as examples throughout this, but the biggest one is emojis. My mother is the world's worst about trying to use emojis and using them incorrectly sometimes. She doesn't mean to, and usually it's just in a text with me because she doesn't use social media that much. So it's very innocent for her, but it demonstrates to me because she hadn't been retired from teaching that long, and she could very well still be in the classroom if she wanted to. And so a couple things, there's a lot of emojis out there that mean things that they don't look like. Okay, I'm just saying it. And students know what these alternative meanings are. Now, there is an entire language of emojis. You can speak to somebody in emoji and it means something. It's like Morse code. It doesn't mean word for word or letter for letter. It's this symbol means this idea. This symbol means this idea. It's like hieroglyphics. And so be very careful if you don't know what something means and it's not safe type emojis like a smiley face. Smiley face emoji, very innocent. Thumbs up emoji means thumbs up, okay? But if you want somebody to look at something and you send eyeballs, eyeballs don't mean look at something, they mean send me something, okay? So even though you might guess as to what the emoji means, you might be wrong. So be very careful. If you're not sure, look it up. There are tons of parents' emoji translator websites and stuff like that. Just think before you try to do something that you think is cool, that might relate to students or younger parents, because you might actually be sending the wrong message inadvertently. Another thing, don't talk about what you ate for lunch unless you're making a recommendation for a restaurant. Nobody cares what you had for lunch. Nobody cares that you had a bagel and now your stomach hurts. Okay? Really, nobody cares. Not even your family. Trust me. Another thing, and I bring this up with my father because I think my father would really enjoy Twitter once he gets into it. But remember, you're not that important. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but when you start on social media, you're not going to have any followers, or you might have a few, and they're probably going to be friends and family members. So you don't have to be scared or nervous, or you don't have to sit there and think about what you're going to say on the social media, because there's not that many people that are really going to pay attention to what you have to say out of the millions and millions of tweets, Facebook comments, Instagram pictures, whatnot out there. So just remember, you're a very, very small little tadpole in this huge pond, okay? So what you have to say isn't going to be heard by very many people. Also, if you start ranting and raving on social media, again, you're not going to be heard by that very many people, and the people that do hear you are going to be your friends and family and the people you care about, and they don't want to hear you ranting and raving on social media. So, save the drama for your mama, and just say important things. I use Twitter mainly professionally. I used it personally, and it just evolved into professional, and now it's professional. And so I share out EdTech type articles or news or information, professional development type stuff. These are the kind of things that I share out on Twitter, because these are the kind of things that I want to see on Twitter. So what I want to see on the social media platforms is what I share, and you get what you reap kind of deal. And I know I said that Instagram was more of a storytelling type platform, and it is, but you can do pictures and videos through Twitter also. It's more native in Instagram, but you can do it through Twitter. You can do it through Facebook. And these pictures really tell your story. And that's the whole goal of this, if you're going to use social media in the classroom, is to connect with students, connect with parents, and tell your story from your point of view. So when you take a picture, think about what's in that picture. Is little Johnny in the back picking his nose when you're taking the picture of somebody working on a Chromebook? Is little Susie asleep on the desk when you're taking a picture of somebody presenting in front of the class? So you think about these things, and those are the ones that you share. You share out what you want people to see from your classroom. And that way you're in control of the image that your classroom and you as a professional teacher present to the public. And believe me, people pay attention a lot more to social media if you've got nice pictures. And you don't have to be an amazing photographer. Your cell phone works fine. Just be thoughtful about what you take pictures of. And if it's not a good picture, throw it out, take another one. Digital pictures are free, y'all, okay? And here's your bonus tip. Capital letters means yelling, okay? So if you type things in capitals, people think you are yelling at them. So don't do that. Oh, and also punctuation is not necessary all the time. In text messages to younger students, a period could mean that you're mad at them if you put a period at the end of a sentence. Okay, so texting has its own language. Emojis have their own language. So just be careful and be aware. If you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. Just be aware that there are languages, sub-languages in English of all of these different things. And it's going to take some getting used to and some learning. So I hope this gives you some encouragement to get started in social media. Social media is really fun. It's a great educational tool for professionals to use. I learn so much through social media all the time, and I try to share back with the community and engage in conversations and that kind of thing. If you got some questions for me, leave me comments below. If you like my videos, give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. YouTube is changing their partner program, which takes away some perks that I used to could use in these videos. So if you like my videos, give me a subscribe. And if you got some friends that you think might like my videos, have them come over here and take a look. And if they like it, subscribe as well. That'll really help the channel out, and that'll really help me keep bringing this content to you. Until next time, have a great weekend.